Welcome to your go-to tech channel. We cover everything from the latest gadgets and software to AI, cybersecurity, and future innovations. Whether you're a tech fan or just curious, you're in the right place. Now let's jump into today's topic, and if you enjoy this content, like, comment, and subscribe to stay updated. What is HTML and why does it matter? HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. It's the backbone of almost every web page you see online. Think of it as the skeleton of a web page. It structures the content you see, like text, images, buttons, and links. Without HTML, a browser wouldn't know how to display any content at all. Why and how did HTML start? HTML was born in the early 1990s. Tim Berners-Lee, a British scientist, invented it while working at CERN. The goal was simple: make it easier for researchers to share documents via the internet. It was part of the birth of the World Wide Web, a system for linking documents through hypertext, which means linking from one text document to another. HTML was designed to structure documents and create hyperlinks between them. How HTML works. Behind the scenes. When you open a web page, your browser, like Chrome, Firefox, Safari, receives HTML code from a server. The browser reads the HTML and then renders it, turns it into the visual web page you see. HTML doesn't work alone. It usually works together with CSS, cascading style sheets for styling, and JavaScript for interactivity. But without HTML, the browser wouldn't know what content to display at all. The key behind HTML is that it uses tags, special keywords surrounded by angle brackets like P or H1, to describe what each piece of content is. For example, means this is a paragraph, while as the image IM means this is an image. Why are browsers dependent on HTML? Browsers are built to understand HTML. They have built-in engines like Chromium's Blink or Firefox's Gecko that are responsible for parsing HTML documents. These engines understand the tags and structure, and they construct something called the DOM, a model that represents the structure of the page, which the browser then paints onto your screen. If you give a browser HTML, it knows what to do with it. If you give it something else like plain text or random code, it won't display a structured web page. What does HTML code look like? Here's a very basic example of a web page written in HTML. HTML, doctype HTML, headle. My first web page, head. Body, hello world. This is a paragraph of text on my website. .example.com, visit example. This small piece of code tells the browser, show a big heading, hello world, show a paragraph, show a clickable link. Is learning HTML still worth it today? Absolutely. Even though there are many tools like WordPress or website builders like Wix, HTML is still essential. It's foundational. Every web page still uses it. Web developers, even when using frameworks, write HTML. HTML is easy to learn and introduces you to how the web works. Even for designers, marketers, bloggers, or product managers, knowing some HTML can help you tweak websites, email templates, or understand what's going wrong in a web page. How can a beginner start learning HTML? You can start learning HTML with nothing more than a text editor and a browser. Here's how. Use a simple text editor like Notepad, Windows, or TextEdit, Mac. Save a file with .html extension like index.html. Open that file in your browser to see the result. You don't need to install anything or buy anything to get started. Simple and reliable resources to start learning HTML. Here are great beginner-friendly resources. MDN Web Docs by Mozilla, developer.mozilla.org/enus-docs/lab-html, the most reliable and in-depth guide used by professionals and beginners alike. .schools/thosschools.com, very beginner-friendly with interactive examples. FreeCodeCamp.org offers free interactive lessons starting from HTML basics to advanced web development. Codecademy HTML course, codecademy.com/learn-html, hands-on learning with code exercises in the browser. What is the DOM and why is it important? DOM stands for Document Object Model. When a browser loads HTML, it builds a tree-like structure representing all the elements on the page. For example, your HTML contains head and body might contain H1 and P. Each of these is a node in the tree. JavaScript uses the DOM to interact with the page. It can change content, respond to clicks, or remove elements dynamically. That's how websites become interactive. So even though HTML is static, once the DOM is created, JavaScript can make it dynamic. What else is important about HTML? HTML is not a programming language. HTML doesn't have logic, loops, or functions. It's a markup language. Its only job is to describe content and structure. HTML evolves over time. We're currently using HTML5, the latest standard. It introduced new elements like video for embedding videos, section, article, nav for semantic layout, and better support for mobile and multimedia. Accessibility starts with good HTML. Proper use of HTML helps people using screen readers and other assistive technologies. For example, using label for form inputs or alt text for images makes the web more inclusive. HTML is the foundation of all front-end development. Whether you're building a simple blog or a complex app with React or Vue, HTML is always the base. You can't build a website or a web app without it. Summary of key topics. What HTML is: a markup language used to structure web pages. How it started: created by Tim Berners-Lee to share documents. How it works: parsed by browsers to display web content. Why browsers depend on it: it's the standard language for web content. What HTML code looks like: tags describe content like headings, links, images. Why it's worth learning: still core to the web, essential for many careers. How to start learning: use a text editor. Try tutorials online. Best beginner resources: MDN, W3 Schools, FreeCodeCamp, Codecademy. What the DOM is: a live model of the page created by the browser from HTML. Other key aspects: HTML5, accessibility, web standards, modern tools built on HTML. HTML is simple, powerful, and still relevant. It's not just a stepping stone. It's the foundation of everything on the web. Learning it unlocks a whole world of opportunities, from building your first website to launching a full web app. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate you taking the time to check out my video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more content. Your support means the world to me and helps the channel grow. Stay tuned for more videos, and let me know in the comments what you'd like to see next. See you in the next one.